Today, I'm going to walk you through the cover letter I used to get an investment banking internship at Goldman. I'm Peter, and I'm a former investment banking analyst at Goldman Sachs in the TMT group in San Francisco. I'll go over the purpose of a cover letter, what recruiters are looking for, and how you can structure a cover letter to land your dream job. At the end of this video, I'll be sharing a free template that you can download. Purpose. The cover letter really is your chance to show why you want that role and why you're the best fit for the role, and to get the recruiter excited to bring you in for an interview. My advice would be to always make your cover letter as personalized as possible. What recruiters look for. After my internship, I got an offer to come back to Goldman full-time, and I was part of Goldman's Berkeley recruiting team. The process was we got a resume book about this thick with all the candidates, and there would be a cover letter and a resume. Keep in mind, we were all working 80 to 100-hour weeks. We were supposed to go through this thick book and then vote on who we would want to bring in for a first-round interview. And so I basically spent about 10 to 30 seconds just breezing through resumes. If someone had a high GPA and great work experience, I would put them in my tier 1 and vote for them for the first-round interview. And then people that had okay GPAs, okay work experiences, I would put them in my tier 2 bucket, and I would dig in to find reasons why they should be in tier 1 or not. A lot of those times, I would go to the cover letter to see if there's something extra, something special that I missed about them, or if they're really motivated, I would suss that out by going to the cover letter. And again, I'd only probably spend maybe 30 seconds, a minute, maybe 5 minutes if it was someone interesting but on the fence. And that's really when the cover letter matters. If there's two candidates and the resumes are equal, whoever has the better cover letter is the one that gets chosen for the interview. How you can structure a cover letter to land your dream job. This was my banking cover letter, and there's primarily 3 sections. The first section is the header. It's the first impression that the recruiter has of your cover letter. And so it should be formatted really well. You want to have the same exact header as your resume. And a smart way to do that is just to create a copy of your resume, and then you delete the body, and then you save it as a new file, and then that'll become your cover letter. If you get that right, it communicates attention to detail and a level of professionalism. Content-wise, it should just be your contact details. So your mailing address, your phone number, your professional email. So use your school email if you have one, and your LinkedIn URL. With your LinkedIn profile, just make sure it's consistent with your resume, so everything looks really good, because a lot of times people actually don't look at the resume these days. They actually look at LinkedIn's a lot. Next, you have the date and recruiter address. So here you want to put the date of your writing, the recruiter name, their title, the name of the firm, and the recruiter's address. And if you're enjoying this video, subscribe to my journey going from corporate to creative by pressing that subscribe button. Now for the third and most important section, this is the meat of the cover letter. You address the recruiter, "Dear Mrs. Wong." In this first paragraph, you basically want to write what role you're applying for, how you heard about it, why you're interested, and why you're a good fit for the role. I found one of the best ways to stand out in your cover letter is to research like crazy and to actually talk to people at the firm. And so the best way to do that is to go to recruiting events or just network with alumni. I talked to a lot of alumni from Berkeley, a lot of my business fraternity alumni. I went to all the banking recruiting events. I did case competitions. So let's say you apply to a bank and you know someone and you know he would say good things about you. If you name drop, that person will probably be asked about you. So just make sure that they'll say good things. And you can even tell them you mentioned them in the cover letter if you want. And then the next section is why you're a good fit for the role. And so for me as a student, I broke it up into 2 paragraphs. Why I was a good fit because of my work experiences, and why I was a good fit because of my extracurriculars. The best cover letters show that you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. You've researched a ton about banking, about the firm, about the role, and then you convey why you are the best fit for that role with your motivation, with your abilities, with your work experience, with your extracurriculars, so they'd be crazy not to give you a first-round interview. When you think cover letter, really understand what they're looking for, and then personalize your experiences, making sure they know you're the ideal fit for that role. A lot of this goes back to actually looking at the job spec and reading what they want. So for example, responsibilities, analyze financial models, perform scenario analyses, organize and prepare presentations explaining trends, client options, strategies. Keeping in mind what an investment banking analyst does and what the role actually says they need, now you can go and personalize your experiences to show how it fits the role. In my work experience paragraph, I basically talked about how at BlackRock, in my second year, it showed me what it was like on the buy side. And I also talk about how I constructed detailed monthly updates, quarterly reports, presentations for over 35 clients. I developed a lot of multitasking, attention to detail. So these are all things I know that analysts need. And that's for me talking to a lot of bankers. Then I talked about how I was in the Goldman Sachs investment banking case competition at Berkeley, and how it showed me doing what an analyst does, coming up with a strategic recommendation, a financial model under pressing time constraints. And I talk about how we value different acquisition targets. We created a presentation, and I experienced just how intense and crazy doing M&A was. It shows them that I've really researched what banking is. I'm really interested in it, and I've done it. And then I talk about my extracurriculars, how as a head coordinator of a nonprofit, Styles Hall, and then VP of finance of my Delta Sig business fraternity, learned leadership skills and teamwork skills that I know deal teams need. Then I talk about how I did all the work experiences, extracurriculars, while having a GPA of 3.88 to show that I have time management and I'm ready for the intensity of banking. And then this section is your summary of why you're a great fit for the role and the CTA, just laying out the next steps. And here I just reiterate that my professional, extracurricular, and academic experiences all prepare me to be a summer analyst at Goldman Sachs. And I'm confident that my background, skills, work ethic will help me be a great fit. And then I thank them for their consideration, and I say I look forward to hearing from them soon. And then finally, you'll want to sign it, and I like to include a PDF signature, and I generally would do it in blue so they know that I made that extra effort to really sign and scan it. Before you PDF everything, triple, quadruple, quintuple check your cover letter, make sure the header looks good, the date and addresses are all right, and your body and all your language is good, your signature looks on point. Make sure you practice having a nice signature so it doesn't look like crazy. Ask a few friends to proofread your cover letter for you. I'd suggest asking at least 3 friends, and ideally they're in finance, and even better if they've done banking. I asked about probably 10 people to proofread my cover letter, and they were older brothers in my business fraternity, other bankers I had met. So by the time I got my cover letter out, it was pretty on point. Then you can PDF your cover letter by going to file print and going to PDF and then save as PDF. And then I like to just save it as my name - cover letter. Don't do the versions and the banks like GS version 25. Like, don't do that. You want the bank to feel like you're personally focused on them. So I just keep it simple, Peter Sue - cover letter. And I do a final look through. I make sure the headers and spacing look good on the top and bottom, left and right. If you want to download my cover letter template, I have a link below in the description. Keep in mind the cover letter is only about 10% of the equation of getting an interview. And the rest of that 90% really comes down to your resume, which basically comes down to your GPA, your work experiences, and also how you present yourself on that resume. So if you want to see the resume that I use to get the internship at Goldman, check out this video here. And if you want to see what a typical day in the life as an investment banker at Goldman was like, check out my video here. Love yourself, love others. Have an awesome day.